So I'm here with Robbie, and I've been following him on Facebook. And I just saw that he started to build a cardboard guitar, and I figured that it was just for a demonstration, or it was just because he was being lazy that, or
have
didn't
nothing better to do.
didn't have enough wood supply.
Right.
So, but I thought it was so interesting, and I was curious about how it would sound. So I was curious on how what inspired you to start this process.
I did this guitar as an experiment. Of course, everybody knows about Antonio Torres and the paper mache guitar. And the reason why Torres did that was to prove that the back and sides don't contribute as much to the overall sound of the instrument as the soundboard. And so about 10 or 11 years ago, I was in Brazil visiting one of my buddies there, Antonio Tessarin, and he made one like this out of cardboard. And I played it, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. It sounds just like a regular guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, okay, I'll do that one day. And so I walked into a office supply store there in Brazil, and I bought a bunch of paper and brought it back with me, and it's just been sitting in the corner for 10 years.
Oh.
And I thought, well, I've got a couple of shows coming up this year that I have to go to. Why don't I make a cardboard guitar? That's a nice little marketing gimmick. And so I did. And I was very surprised with how good this little instrument sounds. It's fantastic.
And it looks great too. I mean, like from just the look and feel of it, it almost feels like leather by the time it finishes.
It's got kind of an interesting texture to it. In fact,
Yeah.
here's a piece of it here. Very flexible. And it's got kind of an orange peely, leathery type texture to it. And I think it adds character to the instrument.
It does.
It's kind of neat.
And it feels as hard as a regular wood would. I mean, like right here, I wouldn't necessarily press down on it, but from the side here, yeah, it feels like a solid piece of wood.
Yeah.
So excellent. So what's the difference as far as like processing?
Well, when I started this, I built this in a week, 7 days. When I started it, I thought, well, I'll just build it like my regular guitars. And then all of a sudden I started realizing, wait a minute, there's a little bit more involved here than just building a regular guitar. First of all, you're dealing with paper. Can you route it? Can you route binding channels to put it in?
That's right.
Can you sand it? What's it going to do when you scrape your bindings flush? All of these kind of things started going through my mind. I thought, uh-oh. So there's just as much skill involved in building a cardboard guitar as there is building a regular guitar. Perhaps even more, because I had to solve some issues that I would not normally have to solve with a wooden back and side guitar. So yeah, I spent a couple of nights thinking, in the middle of the night about, gee, how am I going to tackle this issue?
Yeah, you didn't really have to like sand it or anything, right?
I did sand it a little bit.
Really?
Not much.
Did it take? I mean, did it?
Yeah, well, I did some scrap pieces before I actually got out my sandpaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to sand it a little bit because I mean it's almost impossible to get your bindings flush, your purflings flush, all that kind of stuff. So I did have to sand and scrape it a little bit. So.
But then it's still the same thickness as
Oh
as
yeah,
what you would here.
very
So you really
minimally sanded, almost nothing at all.
Yeah, just to get the glue and all that stuff.
Yeah. In fact, if you look real close, there's probably a few glue marks in it because paper absorbs glue, folks. Who would have thought of that?
Yeah, that's the other problem is that once you start applying glue, then it's going to stay and it's going to show.
Right.
So you have to be really you can't just smother it.
No, you have to be very neat, very
yeah.
clean as you go because it just absorbs into it.
And it looks very clean. You did a great job at this. And there are some glue marks here, but it really adds to sort of the character of the guitar more than it's like, oh, there's a big glue stain.
Sure.
So
and just the back and sides are cardboard. Everything else in the guitar is wood, just like a normal guitar.
Yeah, you got your Spanish cedar up here, and this is a one piece rather than a book.
Book back. You can't buy book back cardboard. So.
Awesome, but yeah, even though you did that, you actually put the brace right in the middle there as well.
There are 4 back braces. I usually do 3 on my classical guitars. This one has 4 for structural reasons.
Yeah.
It's interesting that the top was a reject. I rejected it from my normal classical guitars because it was actually too small for the shape I wanted to use. So I had to really make sure it was put on properly, and it was a little thinner than what I would normally use. Shot by Duke there.
Oh,
he's excited about the guitar too.
Yes.
So yeah, basically it's just scraps or leftover material.
Yeah.
From my other builds that I probably would not have used. Even the rosette was a reject, had a little chip out of it. But yeah, I went ahead and used it, and the guitar sounds fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, it's a beautiful build guitar, and I will tell you, it sounds better than anything you would go and buy a Guitar Center or anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take this guitar over those guitars any day.
I've even had a couple people on YouTube offer me my normal asking price for guitars.
Just yeah, I mean it'll last you, because I was thinking maybe if I get this a little bit sweaty or something that it'll suck into it, but no, it's been French polished.
It's been French polished, yeah. So it has a nice seal coat on it, so no finger marks or anything like that. Yeah. It's like a regular guitar. Awesome. Some people even say from a distance, it looks just like a Cypress guitar or a flamenco guitar.
Yeah, it does. It does. And yeah, I would figure that it would have a very sharp, like flamenco sound to it, but no, it sounds like a classic guitar, which is very impressive. So this is truly like, you can tell this is built by a great master luthier.
Tell my wife that. She still makes me take the trash out, by the way.
Amazing. Wow. I would love to play this.
Well, play it for us, please.
Okay.
All right.